this is the Tani with the most interesting job that we've had on the show. Is it on your bucket list to go to Chernobyl? Rona. Shame, that must have been a hard name to have in 2020.
I think you should highlight it. Blondes do have more fun.
What came first, the radiation or the beautification?
My laaste fietswedren het ek 'n Romeins karretjie gejaag.
Is it taxing that people just offload their cock on you?
I steer the ship there.
Tell me about your childhood. It's fine. I don't tell me about your childhood. And controversial question, what do you think of Hannah? Hallo mense, Schalk beside nou hier and welcome to another episode of Your Mom with Schalk. Mense, no better way to start an episode than with this sound. ASMR, are you ready? Can you hear the fizz? Nice, eh? And of course, ladies and gentlemen, besides for our wonderful sponsor House, we also want to thank our other sponsor, Go Solar. Why Go Solar, you ask? Because South Africa. Enough said. Okay. Hello, is it Salomé?
Salome.
Salome.
Actually.
Where does the copy on the stripey on the E?
Ja, hy gaan, dit is 'n akiet. So hy wys
Salome.
Salome. Ja.
Not Salome,
Ja.
Salome.
Net soos wat jy dit wil uitspreek is reg.
Who's it, Tani?
Ja.
You gave her the name, Tani.
Salome.
Salome.
Ja.
Okay, and Tani, what's your name?
Rona?
Rona. Okay, shame. That must have been a hard name to have in 2020.
Ja, niemand kon dit reg spel nie.
This is my mom, Rona.
Ja.
Stay away.
Ja.
Maar haar volname is Salomina Petronella. So
Salomina Petronella.
Ja, dis waar
Wow.
Salome vandaan kom.
Okay.
Ja.
You just go by Rona. Dit kom nou van
Nee, nie Rona nie, Rona.
Rona.
Ja.
Dit kom van Petronella.
Yes.
Né?
Ja.
From there you got to Rona.
Ja.
Because my mom is Cornelia, so Sarah Margareta.
oh wow.
And she's Greta.
O, Greta.
Ja.
Okay.
So that's how we get there.
Ja, ek weet nie hoe my ma het daarbey gekom nie, maar dis wat dit is.
Okay.
Ja.
So Salome, are we gonna do it in English? Are
It's
you
fine.
Are you fine? Okay. Just because I know it's Cape Town and like you Cape Town famous and that's the English.
The way, yeah.
The English.
The English.
People, yeah.
We can do a little bit of mingles.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
No, because that's now cool. You know, it was never cool to be Afrikaans.
Yes.
Like if you were like when you were young, I remember the neighbors' kids refused to speak Afrikaans to me. So I had to learn English out of survival because I'm an only child. And it was literally just like if I wanted to play with the boys next door, I had to
yeah.
learn their language.
Yeah.
They would just like refuse to even try to speak Afrikaans. And they were older than me. They were already in school learning Afrikaans, but they just refused to speak Afrikaans. I was still in the kleuterschool. I was still
Yeah.
like 4 or 5 years old. Like we weren't doing English.
Yeah.
Nah? So I just like had to sink or swim, okay? And then now there's just been this, it's so cool to be Afrikaans now.
Yeah, but I think
Especially in Cape Town.
for sure.
Like people love it.
I think, well, I mean, people like you also that's pushing it forward. You know, people that's Afrikaans that's doing great things and that's owning their culture. You know,
Yeah.
a lot of like there was a rebirth and making it cool, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, I've said it so much on the podcast, but obviously like Foko Polisikar and that whole
Yes.
alternative music scene really helped push
For sure.
like Afrikaans is this cool new,
Definitely.
not cool new thing, cool old thing. And yeah, but I mean, look, you could like with people like you, because you got the tattoos and like I see it out now, you're not happy. You're not happy with the tattoos.
No, I'm perfectly fine with that.
You feel fine?
Yes.
Okay.
Ja.
I gave them no choice. So I always knew that they were going to happen. But then with my first tattoo, I was 18 and I just went to get my first tattoo and I just sent them a photo and I was like, look what I got. So I just
No,
kind
I'm
of broke
fine
the
with
ice.
that. There's no problem.
You got nice tattoos at least.
Yeah,
You
it
know?
could be worse.
Shame. I see now, like especially like when I fly so much, like you get on a SAF Air or a Lyft flight, and then you see older people Because you see so many different people from all walks of life on a plane. And then I see older Tannies who obviously also got a tattoo when they were 18. Nah? But the style then was just like... And then you look at it, you're like, oh, that didn't age well. Eh? Yo. And so many ooms that I see, because like I'm from the East Rand, I still spend a lot of time in the East Rand, and I play bowls, roll ball. Nah?
Yes.
So then I'm spend a lot of time with old people. And then, Shame, you see some old people with tattoos that, like, obviously at the time was like super cool. Lots of Liverpool tattoos, actually.
Yeah.
Lots of Liverpool, lots of rugby tattoos. I don't think a lot of people are still getting like a blow ball tattoo or
Hopefully
Stormers tattoo.
Yeah.
You at my bowls club, you'd be surprised how many like Manchester United tattoos, the English bullies from Benoni. And then, like, people with like a Stormers tattoo and like VP, that the VP doesn't even exist anymore. Like the VP Disa. Shame, ja.
Jy weet my pa, toe ons nou klein was, het hy so 'n hartjie in die baai van sy arm gehad. Maar hulle het dit self opgesit. So op daai stadium was daar nie so iets soos tattoo artist en sulke goeders.
Poked it with the stick
so he did it. They did it themselves, you know.
Ja, dit het gerevolutionize soos tattooing and the art of tattooing, I think.
Well, I love that one, that Engel.
The Engel one. Yeah, I say Engel all the time.
Yeah,
so I call everyone Engel.
On your Instagram. Yeah,
yes. So it's kind of, it was like a lot of people had started telling me like, can't believe you don't have an Engel tattoo. And I thought, might as well get it, you know.
It's very cute.
Thanks.
So tell me, I'm going to ask your mother, Petronella.
No. Rona, please.
Rona. Why? You don't. It's so nice to hear these beautiful old Afrikaans names. No one has it anymore. You know, and everyone who has a long Afrikaans name like Johannes, you know, it becomes Johan or Nessie or Joe, or, you know, like you don't hear. I know one guy that still goes by Johannes, and if you shorten it, he's like, no, I'm Johannes.
Yeah.
You know. But you don't meet people anymore that's like, Petronella, it's my name.
Yeah.
And that will eventually become Pietru or Nella or Rona. But I love it, Petronella. Where you guys from?
I'm from Hartbeespoort. I grew up in Brits.
Wow.
Yes.
Hartbees.
And we live on a farm about 15 km out of Brits, where my parents were farming. So and now at this stage I'm staying in Harties.
Nice, Harties are always, when you come over that mountain or that hill.
Sarkie's neck.
Yeah, and then it lies there in front of you.
Yes.
Then I always think like, these people in Harties have discovered this little, like if I was them, I wouldn't want anyone else to
know about it.
It feels like this hidden gem.
Yeah.
And I think so many people underestimate how close it is to Joburg and Pretoria.
Yes.
Because a lot of people who live in Harties just make the drive. And it's not too bad. You're like, if I live in Joburg or whatever, I'm going to sit an hour in traffic anyway. Might as well.
Yeah.
And then when they get home, it's like living in paradise.
But you know what, on weekends, you that live in Harties stay at home.
Yeah.
Because all the people from Pretoria and Joburg is coming to Harties.
And the bikers and the cyclists.
Yes.
Everyone cycles to Harties.
Yeah.
And then they fucking sit there in the coffee shop with their tap shoes. And the motorbike cyclists or the Holly gangs, they all do a trip to Harties in the morning and then have coffee in Harties. And then you're like, there's so many leather jackets in the Wimpy.
Yeah.
Never seen so many leather jackets in a Wimpy before.
Yeah.
And did you grow up in Harties?
We are actually in Brits. We stayed in Brits at the time. So I was in die Hoërskool Brits.
Die Hoërskool Brits. Wow.
Not just Hoërskool Brits.
No, but that's what you know, it's Afrikaans, eh? Because like I was in Hoërskool Jeugland.
Yes.
And the other big, ons vyand school, what is that? Your enemy
rivalry.
School. Your rival school. The rival school was Hoërskool Kempton. But yeah, if a Hoërskool wanted to really take it to the next level Afrikaans, it's like, how can we make it more Afrikaans than Hoërskool? Die Hoërskool.
Yes.
Because it's like there's not multiple Hoërskools in Brits that you would be like, what hoërskool are you? No, I mean the hoërskool Brits. There is only one. You can just say hoërskool Brits, but they're like, no, we're in the hoërskool Brits.
Yeah, so it was. I grew up in Brits, but we grew up on a farm in Schalk, and then when we went to high school, or like primary school, a little bit of primary school and high school, we were in the little dorpie. So yeah,
in Schalk. No,
Schalk.
I've seen the
turn off.
The turn to Schalk.
Yeah.
I have to tell this story because I don't think I'll ever have the opportunity to tell it again. That is with such a seamless intro to it. But my friend Aaron's Grindling, you know Aaron's Grindling? He does the show Elders on TV and he walks the Camino and whatever. He's big into walking and he does these like guided trips and stuff. And he's an old journalist. Anyway, we used to do shows together, or used to be my producer, and then we would drive, and then once we drove past Geluk, and he told me when he was still a journalist for Weg magazine, you know, like Go.
Yes.
He used to drive all over the country. And he said one time he was driving somewhere and he drove past the sign Geluk. And he was like in a bad space at that time. And he just instinctively like turned onto this road because he's like, I want to go to Geluk. I want to go to happiness. This is the road to happiness. And I said, and what happened? Did you find happiness? And he's like, no, I just got to a farm gate and I couldn't go anymore. That was obviously your plan. He tried to find Geluk, but no, shame, he didn't.
Yeah, Geluk is a small community, where a lot of people have farms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure, that's amazing.
And I was in Geluk Laerskool.
There's a laerskool in Geluk.
Yeah, it's not anymore, but it was. Ja.
It's nou ongeluk.
Ja. Ons was maar so iets as 120 kinders in die hele skool.
Wow.
Yes.
From grade 1 to 7.
Yes.
Wow.
Ja.
That must have been amazing. I've always thought, how many kids were in your school in the hoërskool Brits? It was a big school, I'm assuming.
It was
like 1,000.
1,200.
Yeah, that's like my school.
Yeah.
But I've always thought it must have been amazing because you meet those people who were like, in these little private schools, you know, where it's like 30 matrics.
Yes.
You know, and then they want to brag that like, oh, I was head boy. And then I'm like, you were one of 15.
Yeah.
Your chances were
very high.
A lot bigger than my chances in fucking Hoërskool were like 120 matrics.
Yes.
But I always thought it must have been amazing to be in one of those schools where such a small grade, you know,
Ja,
really
weet,
everyone knows everyone.
Ja, en ook nie dit nie is, jy moes aan alles deelneem om die span vol te maak, jy weet?
Ja.
So dis nie dat jy, al was jy nie goed nie, jy moes deelneem.
Yes.
Jy weet,
you had to, in all the sport, that is so, I've never thought of that. That's really interesting. Because I remember in school, in being in matric, and then meeting someone in your grade. Because you could go 5 years and just, it could have happened that way, that you were just never in the same classes.
Yes.
You know, and then you meet someone in matric at like the matric farewell, whatever, and you're like, oh, did you only join
later on
our school in like grade 11? And they're like, no, I've been here since grade 8. I've never seen you in my life. Yeah, shame. Okay, so.
Geluk, yeah, a little bit. So our upbringing was like, I've always been very grateful for that. Just because we played. We played
wholesome.
On a farm.
And it's wholesome.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Then we moved to Brits. We were in Brits in high school.
Laerskool Brits?
Laerskool Brits. We actually lived in Namakwaland for a short bit as well. So my mom's work sent her to Springbok in the north, like in Namakwaland. So we actually stayed there for 4 years. I finished primary school there. And then we went back to Brits.
What did you do, Raina, in those years?
I worked for the Nuclear Energy Corporation of South Africa.
Wow! Oppenheimer.
No!
I actually just wanted to watch that. I was on an international flight and I saw Oppenheimer and then I was like, yo, it's a commitment to watch Oppenheimer because it's 3 hours long.
I just came back from Berlin and I watched it on that flight. And it was like an intense commitment. I was actually really tired. I had to watch it in stages.
It's like, you have to watch it. You go take a bathroom break, order a drink.
It's a heavy movie.
So nuclear, wow.
Yeah.
What were you?
I'm a radiation protection officer. So
Radiation protection officer.
yeah,
Yes.
so you've got different nuclear facilities on site. So every we call it the RPO. Every
Radiation
RPO protection officer.
Oh, prevention officer.
Yeah.
Okay.
So every RPO must basically look after the radiation safety for that specific facility.
This is the, Neil, I just have to say, this is the Tani with the most interesting job that we've had on the show. Is it on your bucket list to go to Chernobyl?
No.
Because I would think someone in your line of
No,
work
I
that
watched
you would,
it and I follow it, and I even watched the 3 Mile Island incident that was in America a long time ago. And all that stuff is interesting, but I don't want to go there.
I think you should take your mom there.
No.
Salome, I think one day
I think she'll enjoy a Greek holiday more.
Yes, yes, please.
somewhere away from radiation.
Yeah.
Yes.
So tell me now, because like my wife, I still want to say fiance sometimes, but it's more fun to say fiance than
Yeah.
wife. Eh? Wife
Yeah,
is
yeah.
like boring. Fiance is like, ooh, fiance.
excitement.
Yeah. My wife went down this wormhole. It's actually a rabbit hole, but she always says I went down a wormhole. But she went down this rabbit hole of like health things a few years ago, and then she was so scared of everything. You know, she was like, she slept with her phone
Away.
like in another room because she's like the radiation from our phones, like, I don't know, melt our brains at night. And she told me to, because I used to when I drive, now just to make it easy, because you know when you stop at a robot you quickly check WhatsApp and whatever. Don't pretend like I'm the only one who does that. So I used to just put my phone like there,
Yeah.
you know, and then like when you drive you can quickly, and then the robot turn, put it there again. And she told me I must stop doing that because I'm going to give myself
You're
testicular
going
cancer.
to get sterile.
Yeah, she's like, if we want a family one day, you mustn't put your phone there. So now the expert can finally tell us, myth busted or not? Can you have children if you put your phone there all the
Yes, you
time?
can have children.
Okay,
The radiation is not so much.
okay,
Yeah.
yeah. Cool. Okay, good to know.
So you're fine.
Okay. And that comes from a qualified RPO. So,
Yes.
Salome, so then in school, you know, was it one of those things like like this industry how did you find it? Was it, you always enjoyed doing your Oh no, okay, load shedding again. Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know by now, one of our favorite peoples in the world is Go Solar. And you know what? It's not just for load shedding, even though it's still a huge problem. So many people these days get solar, and then they get what we call the Bakkie Brigade that come, and it's an old solar panel that they've stolen off a roof, and now like they just changed the wiring. Now they put it on your roof, and it still costs thousands of rands. And then you want to cock and complain because it gave up after a month. So Mensa, with Go Solar, the big perk is you don't own the solar system and you don't want to. It's a mission. They come, they save you thousands of rands, they put it on your roof, you just pay a monthly subscription fee, and guess what? If it breaks, which it won't, because it's brand new solar from, you can even ask this, the place that's made with radiation and proper solar things that solar people make solar panels with. I don't even know what's in that stuff. But anyway, it's made properly. It won't break. But if it does, you just call them and they can fix it. Okay? As easy as that. So thank you, Go Solar, not just for sponsoring the podcast, but for making our lives that much easier. Donkey.
Yes. Older sister, Elsha.
Okay. Did
So-
you do her hair like in school and you developed?
No, all the friends.
All the friends.
Yeah,
okay, so
if
you
there
did,
was
like, from
something
young.
at school, all of the ladies were there. So Salome do the hair for the function or what they did at school.
Cute,
Ja.
Okay.
So my ma het toe ons baie jonk was, het sy in skoonheid gewerk vir 'n rukkie. So ek was as kind het ons baie in 'n salon tyd spandeer.
So I'm actually more interested now in your mom's
Yes, where
life
that
than yours,
started.
Salome. I'm sorry, but what came first, the radiation or the beautification?
Okay, ek het by Nexa gewerk, by Nuclear Energy Corporation het ek gewerk vir omtrent 6 jaar. Toe is ek getroud en ek het Elsje verwag, toe het ek opgehou werk daar. En in die tyd wat ek opgehou werk...
You can't work in radiation when you're pregnant.
No.
That's just a big
Maar toe
no-no.
het ek opgehou werk, want daai tyd was daar nie so iets soos kraamverlof of sulke goed nie. Jy moes bedank. Toe het ek bedank en ek is nie iemand wat by die huis kan sit nie. So ek het toe nou begin, ek het eendag het ek gesien, daar's 'n plekkie wat body wraps doen en sulke goeders. En op die uiteinde het ek die plekkie gekoop. En toe het ek begin nails doen ook en die skoonheid en die nails en alles en ja.
Wow.
En toe het ek op 'n stadium het ek by Sandra Venter het ek in haar salon Interstyle het ek 'n gedeelte van haar spasie gehuur om dit nou alles te kombineer. So die hare en die
Did you do hair as well?
a little bit.
Okay.
A little bit, yes.
Okay.
But nee.
Ja, meer beauty en
Ja,
nails en
nails en skoonheid
Ja.
en so aan, ja. En
Ons was klein toe nog, soos ons
ja, hulle was basies
Ja,
op kleuterskool, jy weet, toe ek met dit begin het.
en my ma was besig, so ons moes in die middag onsself, dan het ons altyd na skool daar
You go to the
gesit.
salon.
Ja.
Ja.
And obviously, then
Ja, daar was so 'n balletstudio, dan ons gaan ballet doen, ek en my sussie, en om onsself maar besig te hou, en dan sit ons na werk tot my ma het laag gewerk het.
Ja.
Ja.
Ja, en ja, toe is ek geskei in 92 en ek het net bietjie meer sekuriteit nodig gehad. Dus ek weer terug na Nexa toe en toe het ek nou maar daar gewerk tot nou toe.
You still work for Nexa?
Yes.
Wow. Where's the radiation plant now? Where you working? Where's
Pelendabel.
just so we know where
It's in
to avoid.
Hartbeespoort?
Bespoort, ja.
Ja, on the Broederstroom side of the dam.
Yes, I know Broeders.
Yes, it's Pelendabel.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
cool. Shit, because I think our water comes from
No,
there, I
you've
don't
got rand water.
know. Okay, cool. Hallelujah.
Oh, nou weet jy.
Because I don't want to grow a tail at this stage of my life.
Not right now.
Yeah. Okay, so you did everyone's hair and stuff, and then where do you obviously go to what, beauty school or
Yeah. So I went to La Louvre Private Hair Academy in Pretoria. So
always I wonder these hair, because you see so many hair academies.
yes.
And how long do you do that for? Is it a 6-month course or?
You can do it one of two ways. You can go a full-time student or you can go part-time. So part-time, you work in a hair salon, and then on just like one day a week you work, you go to college, or you can do full-time. So I did a full-time year course, and then you have to go do your practical hours. So I studied in Pretoria, and then when I finished my studies, I moved to Hatfield.
Maar wag. Sy was die beste student die jaar met wat sy haar hare gedoen het, nê? So 'n besigheidshou wat 'n salon gehad het na die skool toe gekom en vir hulle gevra hy soek iemand wat hy direk op die vloer kan sit. So sy was nooit te happy nie.
I went in high school already. I
What's
worked
happy, the one feeing
Yeah,
the
fear, yeah.
doing the hair.
assisting, and so I never really my apprenticeship started in high school already, because in my school holidays I would go work in hair
In the
salons
salon,
and
okay.
yeah.
So you
I
could
think,
clean the clippers and all
Exactly.
that stuff.
work minimum wage, cut foils,
Cut foils, oh my word. Must be actually cock to do an apprenticeship
Yeah.
in a hair salon. That's
Yes,
really
It's
cock work.
really not fun. Hey?
Sweeping hair.
Yeah. And you do you literally washing and cleaning, and It's not like the most fun job, and you also get paid very little.
I feel very sorry for the people who wash hair in hair salon. That's why I always refuse the wash.
Oh, really?
Yeah, always when I go for a haircut, and then the stylist will say, call someone, Michelle, pas gou so hare asseblief. And then Michelle comes, and then I'll let her wet it, but then they will start the massage.
Yeah.
And then I say, please don't.
It's all good, thanks.
Firstly, I don't like massages because even though it can feel relaxing for me, I'm too in my head thinking of what the other person's thinking.
Yes.
And I can't relax if I feel the other person's thinking like, and that is. And I can't do body massages as well because they press on your shoulders and you're like, oh, that's so good. But then I think of them and they're just like, for them it's just a job. And I'm like, no, I feel too uncomfortable. So I always skip I just say, wet it and do what you need to do.
Yes.
But don't skip the massage, please. Yeah. Oh, I feel too sorry for them because then I have to, just working, your fingers cramp if you have to do that.
I must say, we have these really nice basins, but I haven't even had a wash at these basins. I'm also like, let's go. Let's get it done.
Also, you're not here to relax.
Yeah,
You're here to get something done.
Yeah.
But that's also something that is foreign to us because, these types of salons maybe existed for girls when we were young, but boys went to a barber.
Yeah.
Yes.
Only later, people started sending, because all you needed was the school cut, short back and sides, and above not longer than
top.
2 fingers. Couldn't go longer than this, and you didn't need someone as qualified as you to do it. You needed like a barber.
Yeah.
So only later when I got to like high school, then the rich moms started taking their sons to like Pasquale.
Yes, yeah.
I always call it Pasquale
Yeah.
because of the Q. Maybe in South
there is
Africa, the Q is a click.
Yeah.
But I would take them to Pasquale to like do their hair, and especially December holidays. This was the big thing.
Yes.
Then you got highlights. You could get highlights for December.
Yeah.
And then like our barber, like he couldn't do highlights. Obviously, that was big above
You shouldn't.
his
do
qualification. One time I went to him and I said, can you do highlights? Because he was obviously the cheaper option.
highlights. Yes.
And he mixed some like Aquafresh and Omo there in the back and he put that on my hair and it was a mess. But I got highlights once.
Yeah.
But now I see it's in again.
Yeah, it's a big thing.
Frosted tips.
Yeah,
The frosted
and
tips.
Ironically, perms are making a comeback, especially in male clientele. Like, it's insane, actually. what's
Perms are
coming.
making a comeback.
I was just in Berlin for the trends for 2025 for a big, we basically did what is coming. And
For 2024 or 2025?
2025, actually.
You're already trending
Yeah.
the trends for next year.
Yeah, I work for a company called Goldwell. It's a German color
I know
house.
them, yeah.
And we were in
Goldwell.
Germany they kind of innovate new products and then we need to shoot the kind of campaign imagery for that. So I was there and we permed. We permed hair.
Permed. Did you learn that in
In hair college.
in hair college?
But that was honestly the last time I did a perm was in hair college.
Yo.
So it was not a thing anymore, but it's coming back.
You probably did a lot of perms in your day when you were at the...
Yes. My mother was, when I was small, ons het daar op geluk gebly. En al die tannies van die omgewing het altyd by my ma kom hare sny. Sy het geen opleiding gehad nie, maar hulle het by haar kom hare sny. Sy het hulle hare gepim en so het ek nou maar later aan begin help indraai en pim en te kere gaan.
How long does a perm last?
So it groei uit. It has to grow out of your
out.
hair. Yeah, because
Yes.
you're permanently changing the structure of the hair. So
How does a perm work? Just a quick tutorial perm. What
so
do you do?
you kind of like wash the hair, spray it down, and then you wind the size of curl you want. So there's different kind of sizes of rods that you can use. But then you use something that's a perm lotion that's kind of, it breaks the bonds that your hair consists out of. That's why I feel like it's such a harsh chemical. So preferably you should have natural virgin hair, not chemically treated hair. But then it breaks the bonds and then the neutralizer you put on afterwards, it rebonds those bonds. But then a lot of those bonds don't really rebond. But technically, it's a permanent restructure of your hair around this new shape.
So even if you wet it again,
it will always have the curl. So then the thing is, it does soften a little bit because also once your keratin in your hair hardens again, it kind of like reshapes. But then in time, I feel like it softens. But now there's this, let's say you have really straight hair, then it's like this straight hair that's growing out and then perm on the ends. So this Vicky outrageous.
Okay, what are some of the other trends for 2025 that we should be aware about? It's perms.
So, I mean,
highlights.
Definitely, I think highlights are a classic. It will never go out of style. Blonde hair is always something that people like. It makes people feel...
Yeah, but frosted tips is different to highlights.
Yes.
Frosted tips for guys with my hair color, dark brown.
It's definitely a thing.
It did definitely disappear for a while.
For sure.
And came back. Because the last was Backstreet Boys.
Yes.
Did the frosted tips.
Yeah, there's definitely this whole revolution of like, just eintlik so klein bietjie hectic. Soos so klein bietjie kom en hare wat so bietjie like a regrowth.
Yeah.
Like,
and mullets are obviously
super
fashionable again. Like when I was in Australia last year.
Yes.
Super fashionable, the mullet. Yeah.
A lot of like warm tones as well. But yes, frosted tips, bleachers. We have so many male clientele doing just chemical processes where that was never a thing.
Yeah.
So definitely wearing color like pastel colors, warm blondes, warm browns, a lot of natural texture, like your hair. Embracing what you have is also very, very trendy.
Wow.
So yeah.
But yeah, so anyway, I was saying that yes, when I was growing up, it was just a barber. There was no wash. You know, he sprayed it, his spray bottle, wet it, and then shaved and cut. And
so I feel like there's a place for every single type of hairstylist, because I was working in a bigger salon before I started my own place, and I was working next to a salon because I'm a specific type of hairstylist. Like people book months in advance. People come to me for big color services. So it's more a planned decision.
You sound like you service cars. You have to plan months in advance.
Currently I'm booked out like about 3 months in advance. So
can someone squeeze in for a? Can you squeeze?
I mean, it depends on the relationship I have with the squeeze, I guess.
Okay.
Because I'm a bit of a workaholic. I tend to just work longer and longer, but I also run a really good cancellation list. But then you have people. I used to work next to a girl that, like she used to get walk-in clients. And the man sat next to me and he said, I want as short as possible and as practical as possible. So for me, that's definitely not the type of client that comes to me. Mine is, I have male clientele that just comes for cuts, but they want an experience. They want to sit here, they want more of a detailed, fashionable haircut. They come to me because they want to know what's trending. Like I have a trendsetter type of clientele. Where, you get the short back and sides and I want to get it done. I don't want to book in advance. I want to walk in and I want to
that's me. Like
Exactly.
I am lucky that my hair curls like naturally. I don't need a perm. And then I just want to clean up.
Yeah.
Because when the sides grow out, it looks messy and I just want to and I want to do it like, on my way to the airport.
Yes.
Like I want to leave an hour earlier, stop in Kempton Park by Pasquale next to the Mug and Bean. There's a girl there, she knows me. I phone while I'm in the Uber. I'm coming.
Yes.
I want to pull in there. And if she's not available, I'm like, who else is good with curly hair? Put up your hand. Who has a gap? Psh.
Amazing.
Skip the massage. Got it.
Hoi,
airport, still arrive, hair dripping. So what? Also, when they always ask you, can I dry?
Yeah.
Put product. No, it's going to dry like this.
Yeah.
Promise you. Is it taxing? I've always wanted to ask a hairdresser this. Do you say hairdresser? Hairstylist?
Yeah, hairstylist.
Hairstylist.
I mean, hairdresser, but hairstylist, I think sounds nicer.
Yeah. Is it? Is it taxing that people just offload their cock on you?
So
Because
yes,
it is, you're a psychologist actually as well.
100%. Like, I'm fortunate it's something that's an interest of mine. And I think as a hairdresser, if it's not an interest, you'll find it very hard because it is. There's a lot of psychology behind it because there's physical touch. You're physically touching someone and you have the ability to change their appearance. So you have it, and how other people perceive you
That's interesting.
will be because of like your hair. And it's such a weird thing. You get your roots done and then all of a sudden you feel younger. Or you get your hair cut and you feel fresh. You feel like you want to dress better.
Yeah.
So there's a psychological like act that we're performing.
Yes.
And because you're physically touching someone, even though it's a stranger,
They
you
feel
will never
comfortable.
let a stranger just touch you, right? But a hairdresser physically touches you. So they tend to share things with you automatically.
Yeah.
So I like it because I have an interest for human psychology and human behavior. I read a lot of books on it. So I would always go for the heavier conversations. Like I like to have I go deep with my clients.
If they're willing to go there, you'll go there.
Yeah, no, I steer the ship there.
Okay, you
Yeah.
want to go there. Tell me about
Yes.
your childhood. That's fine. Don't tell me about your childhood.
But like it does obviously have its downsides. Because like some days you maybe have a bad day or you are exhausted or you, because you're also just a human. So then it becomes a bit hectic, I would say. But honestly, I like it. I like I think it's never the same. I think you have to have a certain personality to be a hairdresser. Because
Yeah.
it's a physical job. It's a tough job, but it's a super rewarding and instant gratification. Like you see the outcome of what you do the whole day. And people love coming to the hair salon. It's not like a dentist where people are like fearful or hate coming there. It's quite fun. People are excited to come to you.
Yeah.
And they, like they always want to hear what's going on in your life. And it's a very, it's a fun day-to-day job. Like I feel like I'm playing with color all day.
Yeah,
I
it's
get to be
cool.
an artist.
Yeah, no, hair has really become. I mean, even the girl from Pascal, where I cut my hair. There's a big photo of her and these wigs that she used to practice on, where she's also at some international hair competition. Tannie Rona, did you think when she started she'd be like traveling the world with?
No.
Yeah, because you think, okay, my daughter's
actually-
becoming a hairdresser, she's going to be in a salon, she's
Ek
going
het
to have
al
her
ek het al
clients.
eintlik afgeraai om dit te word, nê? Want ek het geweet haar kapster staan die heel dag op haar voete. Sy is altyd
Gonna have to
vol.
wear
Sy
Crocs.
mag nie, sy het niks wat sy kan, jy weet, sy het nie haar eie tyd nie. Dit is nou maar net so.
Yeah.
As jy nie vir jou tyd maak nie, dan is daar nie tyd vir jou nie.
Yes, no, it is, I think, especially the being on your feet the whole day, people underestimate. So people say, I feel so sorry for nurses, they're on their feet the whole day. But you don't think like a hairdresser is as long on their feet as a nurse, maybe.
Yeah.
It's also long shifts. Sometimes you do work a 12-hour shift.
For sure.
Ja.
Like
go.
with these global campaigns that I do, like we only start coloring sometimes at 9 o'clock at night. We have to take the model's hair back to the original, what we've done after they've done their photo shoots. So then you're there until 10, 11, 12, finishing up the last color. So but like there's also a rush to it. But years ago when I started in the industry, I feel like it's very similar maybe to the film industry or performance. There was this just general consciousness of like cigarettes and coffee and like that's how we get through this day. It's just like we just like it was this rough culture where I actually believe the opposite. I feel like you need to sleep, you need to eat healthy, you need to like try and prepare yourself as best you can to perform for those days, to like show up, to be able to show up. You need to actually take care of yourself better.
Yeah, I miss the cigarettes and coffee days though. Just like in general, like, it's just, there's something cool. I don't know. I never smoked, but there's something so cool for me about like hairdressers smoking in the, and like I'm sure in those days it's like the Tannie used to smoke while she's getting her perm done.
Yeah.
It
Ja.
used to be like the airplane.
Ja.
Yeah.
Nee,
I
ek het
still do the coffee.
ja, die koffie wel. Ek het ook nooit gerook nie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I remember that smell distinctly of my barber.
I really
It smelled like chemicals and cigarettes. And it's actually,
You
now
can
I can
smell
smell
it.
it right now, and it's actually a nice smell that I miss.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, you'll fit right into a salon. Like we can't smell it anymore, but when people come in, they're like, "Shoo!" Because it smells chemical. Because we work with color obviously all day long.
Yeah.
So you can come and have a seat here some days if you wanna just
Get a smell.
get a whiff.
And controversial question: what do you think of Hannon?
I think he's a great businessman. Actually,
That was a joke. Tannies
I
love
love his
Hannon.
Instagram.
Tannie Rona.
Hannon?
I'm saying the Tannies love Hannon.
Ja, ons was by 'n show by die kerk vir hom gewees.
Ja.
En hy het 'n paar tannies daai die gehoor uit geruk wat hy opgedolly het.
Ja.
Ek kan net nie dink hy is so mooi man nie. En toe maar nee.
In our new show, I do like a Hannon impersonation, but I found like a perfect Hannon wig.
Yeah. No way.
That is a
On
hit.
point. Ja, sy Instagram is fabulous, ek moet sê.
Yeah, and I love his inspirational quotes.
Yes, that's
Someone
what I'm
reminded
talking
me
about.
last night of one of his inspirational quotes. He says, "Beauty comes from
Hoofie.
the inside bottles and tubes."
Oh no, that's great.
No, what I like about it is it's actually a very controversial thing to say in 2024. 2024,
Yes.
everyone's beautiful just the way they are.
Yeah.
And then it's like, no,
It's
you're
in a
cock ugly. That's why you need the new Hannon style setting hairspray.
Yeah.
But until then, you're ugly.
Ja.
And that's why people buy it because they're like, fuck, I need to buy it because I'm
weet jy
ugly
wat
without it.
onthou ek van sy haarspray is spuit en buig.
Hannon is a
Ek sal dit
legend.
nooit vergeet nie.
I love him. He just owns it. You know,
Yeah.
he just owns it. Brilliant. Okay. So, tell me about the competitions. How does that work with your job? Is that good for the CV? Does it pay?
So
How does it work?
when I started hairdressing, I just wanted to do things that you don't get to do in the salon every day. So that was kind of like
exactly.
I was intrigued by the artistic hair, not just the blondes and highlights and balayage. So I realized that I need to do competitions if I want to do this. And I was intrigued to do photo shoots. And so how you enter these competitions is you enter with a photo and then they select I competed against a lot of Pasquale girls all the years.
Yeah.
But
the Pasquale girls
they
know
also
their
do the
story.
competitions. But you enter through like a photograph of your model and you kind of like descript what you did there. And then a few good years I did that and then I started getting good at it. Also, the benefit was to travel. I really wanted to see the world. And if you win, you go and compete in another city. So eventually I started getting good at the Goldwell competitions. Like after the third year of entering, I won nationally. So then when there's no money in it whatsoever, you get experiences, in my opinion. So it costs you a lot of money and time and planning. So you obviously need to, it's all in your free time. But then when you actually win these competitions, they pay for your prizes, they pay for your tickets to LA or wherever, and you and your model, you get 3 hours to recreate the look in front of the judges. So then you gain experiences. So I ended up doing those competitions for a good few years and then being noticed by this Goldwell company to be on their global artistic team. So it's definitely, in my career, what competitions has done for me is it's taught me a lot of skills that I would have not had not doing them. Also, it made me travel the world. Also gave me opportunities that's now generated an income throughout this company.
Yeah.
And clients also like it. You get popularity. Like people like to know that your stylist is trying to better themselves. And also I teach then in South Africa and I get to uplift our industry here.
Oh, you teach at
Yeah.
different. Tannie Rona, do you like on her Instagram, these crazy, is that beautiful for you? Or you're like, yeah man, what is this?
What the different
Hair.
crazy hair.
The crazy hair.
Ja, ek is baie mal oor sulke goeders.
Ja.
Ek is nie 'n baie konservatiewe mens nie.
Yeah.
Glad nie. Nee, ek hou van way out.
Okay.
Ja.
Well, yeah, I guess because those things are like, it's like fashion week. You know, if you
Yes.
watch it, it's like no one's really going to wear this.
No, it
But then
isn't.
I still don't really, I get it's pushing creativity, but like
Boundaries.
a out there piece of art, people will still put that in their
House.
home. But like those,
I
it's
see
like a
you.
Balenciaga,
Exactly.
and then the shoe is the size of the stable, and then the model can barely walk, but it's like this over the top shoe. Just like, yeah, it's funny, or it's like a thing with shoulder pads that's too, yeah, but I'm like, no one's gonna wear that in the mall.
No, definitely not. So, like, I've also thought of it a lot. Like, I think what it does is it shows skill, and like, I think it's just
Just to show
it's
what's
human.
possible.
Yeah, I think it's human to want to push boundaries more and more. But yeah, I rarely nowadays, because there was definitely a time where these creative colors were trending, where people were coming in for it. But in all honesty, it does limit you. I've had the rainbow on my head like myself. I've had neon yellow hair. I've had it all. But like, it does limit you. Like, you can't really wear a green top if your hair is, canary yellow, or it does clash. So I feel like sometimes it's just a self-expression, or it's meant for art. Like, I do these collection shoots sometimes it's connected to a theme, and we tell a story through hair. But it's just the texture and art form that I prefer to work with. Yeah.
And I'll ask Tani Rona this, do you think, because I sometimes think I want to do more with my hair, but I'm so worried about it breaking and stuff. Is it really a thing of just your hair can break and then you just shave it? Or when it grows out, it grows back healthy? Or how does it work with hair?
Ja, ek dink jy moet mooi na jou hare kyk in die eerste plek. Jy kan nie net enige chemicals op jou kop sit nie. Iemand kan nie perm en kleur op dieselfde tyd nie. Want dit gaan
from experience.
ja, dit nee, maar dit gaan net afbreek.
Ja.
Jy weet, jou hare kan net soveel chemiese prosesse deurgaan.
If it reaches a point where it's now like afbreek,
Dan
it
moet
grows
dit maar
out because
afskeer.
it's just will grow out
Ja.
normal again.
Ja.
Nah.
Ja.
Yeah. And what do you think, Salome, with all the color, and surely that's not good for your hair?
Yeah. So, like, I would always lead with, if you're going to do chemicals, like, you have to, it's an investment. Firstly, time investment, but also money investment with products, because you need to take the home care. Want jy gaan jou hare haat as jy dit gebleach het and you don't use the right products on it, then it's just going to be a frizz ball every day.
Exactly.
It's going to,
No, but I peroxided my hair in 2000 and...
Did your barber do it?
No. At this stage, I knew this girl. Do you know Annie? She's here in
Yes,
Cape Town
yeah,
now,
I know her well.
with all the tattoos.
Yes.
Annie, she's also Afrikaans.
Yeah.
Anyway, she lived in Joburg then, and then I did my hair with Annie. She peroxided it, and she was at Celador,
Yes, yeah, I know them well.
and then if you don't wash with that purple shampoo,
Yeah,
it goes yellow very quickly.
Yes.
definitely.
That was always my problem with the highlights. I did it 1 December, but obviously then we didn't know. The hairdresser also didn't tell me wash it with this thing.
Yes.
And then it just went yellow after 3 days, and it looked so cock. It looked like
Yeah.
these knickknacks. Like I had knickknacks at the
Knickknacks.
point of my...
Oh, no.
It was gross.
Yeah. Like, home care is very important. Also, like, I think stylists must recommend the right thing to the right clientele.
Yes.
Because, if your lifestyle, if you're going to be on I ride bicycles, like, I'm on a bike, I'm in the ocean, so for me, I want a wash and wear kind of hairstyle that looks good without having to style it for 7 hours. So I think it's dependent on your lifestyle. That would also influence the decision I would make for the hair. But a good hair care, and it's definitely better to do less. Like, for instance, like you say, you want to catch a hairstyle on the way to the airport. Like, I wouldn't bleach your hair at all, because I think your hair says enough. Like, the curls it's different, it's unique, it suits your personality. By
like
adding
that.
like unnecessary, but unless you want like something for a role or a character, but then
Yeah,
you
of
get
course,
the
yeah.
hand and wig. Yeah.
Yeah, you get the wig or they'll have a stylist on set or whatever. Last thing I wanted to ask you about. So tell me about, because I heard through the grapevine that you actually are a talented cyclist. Mountain cyclist, mountain biking.
Actually, gravel and road. I've recently dabbled with mountain biking. My boyfriend's a mountain biker, and it's all 3 times I had a hard fall, so I'm not there yet.
Okay.
But I do gravel and road. I love riding a bicycle, so it's for me that's the escape and the thing that manages like
yeah,
just
because you've like Affie Plaas. I'm sure you
Yeah,
guys
exactly.
ride
We used to
bicycles
ride
there.
Baie
Yeah.
fietsgery.
Yeah.
So it's something that came from my childhood, but I think it's for me. I like the outdoors of it, but yeah, I'm definitely a 0 or 100% human. So like when I do something, I like to do it properly.
Yeah.
So then I just naturally started doing more like ride further and further. And I actually started with a fixed gear. I just bought myself a fixed gear because I live in Sea Point on the prom, like just next to the prom. So I thought, let me just ride some bikes. And then I thought I could stupidly enter the Argus with that fixed gear. And then someone said to me, no, I think you really do need gears. So I bought my first bike and then it just fell into it. But I do gravel and road. And I do like to do more extended rides, like, 100 and something Ks. Or I did with the producer, Jess, that of the show.
Of this show, yes.
We actually
Jess told
did
me.
the Cedar together. We first did the Gallows together, which is just a crazy gravel bike race, like 120, but it ends with this insane climb, like this just
You
complete.
just put the bike on one.
Yeah, well, I pushed it up for parts of it. I just got off the bike and pushed it because you're finished by then.
Is it?
Yeah, and then we actually did end of last year. We did the Cedar together, which is a 245 kilometer gravel bike race in the Cedarburg, and it's incredible.
Wow.
But it's testing, and I like the mental game that you have to play, because it's like there's parts of it where you're hanging next to the bike throwing up, and then you you get back on. So there's definitely a little bit of torture in there.
And Tannie Rona, what's been your furthest cycle?
Ja. Ek het nou nie moes 'n fiets gery nie. Ons het net op die plaas het ons altyd maar ons het fietsse gehad. Ek en my 2 boeties het baie fiets gery. En my laaste fietswedren het ek 'n roomyskarretjie gejaag, want dit was vir ons baie snaaks om op die plaas 'n roomyskarretjie te hoor. En ons het die Sondagmiddag het ons roomyskarretjie gehoor. En ons het al 3 op ons fietsse gespring en gejaag agter die roomyskarretjie, en op pad soontoe het ek my fietsmiddel deurgevul. So dit was my laaste fietsry.
En nooit die roomhuise kry nie.
Nee, ongelukkig nie. Want ek was flenters, ek het nou nog die skaars.
Shame.
Ja.
Shame, just for
Maar
the ice cream.
ek het later van tyd het ek so 'n bietjie wedlope gehardloop.
Okay, you're a
Ja,
runner.
ja. Maar nooit verder as 10 kilos nie.
Okay.
So, dis al wat ek gedoen het.
Parkrun.
Ja.
Ja, parkrun or two. Okay, lekker. Dankie,
Ja.
Salome. I'm gonna talk to you off camera after this, because maybe you can tell me on camera what you think. But like last year when I was in Australia, my hair grew out a bit, and then when I got it cut, I left the back here to like create like a little bit of an Aussie mullet. And then I thought every time I go to Australia, I want to try and do
Blend.
like
Mallet.
like some sort of Aussie look.
Yeah, you want to
To blend
blend in.
in.
Yeah.
And I think also that when I go on stage, the people appreciate that
Yeah.
or, the South
Made an
Africans there
effort.
at least, they go, oh, okay, he's doing the Australia vibe. So this year I want to do highlights, like the frosted tips.
Yes.
I feel like that's quite an Australian thing as well. I saw it a lot
definitely, yeah.
in Australia last year.
Yeah,
And I just haven't done highlights since I was 13.
yeah,
I did the Baroque side. Was the only time in the last year since I was 13 that almost 20 years that I did anything extreme to my hair.
technology has changed with color so much. So it's safer to bleach. We can push the hair further.
Do you have to still put on that skull cap and then you take the hair? Yes, that was the most painful thing I've ever done. Like,
I
and then they
actually,
just do the
Kan ek gou iets sê?
Ja.
yes, yeah.
Salomé is eintlik so donker soos ek. So sy het vir my of sy like haar hare blond, want sy sê blond sit meer van.
yeah. I think you should highlight it. Blondes do have more fun. I think you should try it.
Yeah, but just highlights. I still want I just want the tips. I
Ja,
just want
so-
the tips.
Well, net die tips.
Just the tips.
Ja, en wat lekker gaan wees is you don't have to like maintain it. It will just grow out and you'll cut it out completely.
Exactly.
Eventually.
Yeah, because when I peroxided it, then I had to eventually, when it grew out this much, I just had to go
Shave it off.
shave
nommer
it off.
2.
Ja.
Ja.
Shave it
No,
off.
I think that's a great idea because it will be no maintenance and you'll, like you said, you get the effect and you blend and it would actually be really nice with your curls. Like it will have these, it will add like a focal point to the tips of the, yeah, I think that will be a vibe.
Lekker.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll chat.
Okay,
I know
cool.
you only squeeze in with the relationships, right? So I hope I did this interview talking well enough. And thank you. Thank you very much
Thank
for
you so
chatting
much.
to me.
It was a pleasure.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is, where is this going to go? Is this going to be the last episode? Last episode of the season, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully, we're here again. House, go solar. Thank you very much. Dankie, mense.
Your Mom with Schalk is a Telltale Media production and hosted by me, Schalk Besuitnout. Once again, please hit the subscribe button on your podcast app. That's it for today, but I'll catch you next week for another chat with another Tannie.